We did it. That's right, Shell. Appreciate everyone who shows up. It is September 12th, Friday. We made it to the end of the week. It's been a very rough one, guys. Very rough indeed. We've had lots of violence, political, non-political. We've had just unhinged people being quite disagreeable with each other, we'll just say. We've continued to see culture take a shift. We continue to see the media be dishonest. And one thing that we're presented with, and the nice thing about X is that we get to see both sides of arguments. This is not something that is very prominent on other platforms. This is not something that we typically get to discuss. So in a couple of these stories, I actually have what both sides believe right now. You can see it in their posts. It's quite obvious. And it's becoming very apparent that there's really not much of a middle ground left. That's probably not a good thing. But you know what? Here we are. This is the reality we live in. This is what we have to deal with. So we need to support each other, protect our families, and overall just keep speaking, because that's what Charlie wanted. He was all about speaking. He wasn't pro-violence, even though the media is right now claiming he said and did a lot of things that he didn't do. He was still the moderate among us. He was still the one that wanted to continue the conversation. So this week was especially hard. We lost a couple of people. We lost Charlie. We lost Irina. 2 kids in Colorado got shot. Thankfully, the shooter took their own life, so that saves us a bunch of money and nonsense. But there's not even agreement about that shooter. Just in general, the political divide seems to be getting wider. The conversation seems to be shutting down, which will happen when you assassinate one of the biggest talkers of the right. But guys, I don't see this trending in the right direction. This is an uncomfortable future that I see ahead of us, but it's one that we are going to have to face. So keep your head on a swivel, watch out for each other, keep your prayer game up, and just be prepared for whatever's coming. That's all I can really encourage you to do. Because those of us that are veterans, those of us that have seen real violence, we don't want it. We don't want to see it. We don't want to be pushed into it. We've been there. We've done it. We've seen it. It's ugly. It's not the future that anybody should be desiring. So they keep saying, oh, turn the other cheek. It's pacifism. They keep saying a lot of other things like we should be just rushing into conflict. The left is counting on the fact that we don't want to rush into conflict because they've been in conflict with us for decades and decades, well over a century now. Hang on a sec. Hey, buddy. Please stop. Too loud, okay? Thank you, buddy. Oh, so I'm going to pull up the first story. Okay, the first story, we're starting off with the category of violence. Guys, this is non-Charlie violence from the week. But Sam, Conservative Alternative, here posts a quote from President Javier Milei. Says the underlying values of leftism are envy, hate, resentment, unequal treatment under the law, and violence. And where have we seen this? Is there one rule of law? Or do we see certain people getting away with things and other people not? Is there not multiple category or multiple tiers of treatment under the law right now? So unequal treatment under the law. We see restorative justice that is freeing minorities back onto the streets to try and reduce the minority population in prisons. Is that the right answer? I would say no. I think that's a scam. I think it's terrible. It's putting our citizenry at risk because you're taking dangerous people and putting them back onto the street with cashless bail to try and fix the demographics of the system. Well, the demographics of the system are what they are. I don't advocate racial targeting of criminals. I don't advocate any of that. But one thing we tend to see, lots of violence coming out of certain groups of people. And those people are currently overrepresented in prisons. But it seems like they should be. Because if you are perpetrating the majority of the violent crime, it seems like you should be in prison. It's being reported that Erica Kirk will be making a statement this evening. God bless her and those children. Yes, Karen. I also saw that post. I am at a complete loss for words for that family. I can only imagine. Like Shell says, God bless her and their beautiful kids. I have a thing pulled up for a little bit later. We covered it 2 days ago, but yeah, hits you right in the feels, guys. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I don't think people on the right should be doing this to people on the left, and I don't think people on the left should be doing it to people on the right. I don't think that murder is good, no matter who is doing it, and no matter whom they're doing it against. Because there is a big difference between homicide, which is the killing of a person caused by another person, because there are justifiable reasons to do so, such as, I don't know, self-defense, protection of yourself from imminent harm, protection of others from imminent harm, and murder. It's a big difference, guys, between those two. And I don't condone murder of any variety. It is wrong. It's wrong to murder the unborn. It's wrong to murder those who have been born, period. That's it. So the left likes to drag out things like Kyle Rittenhouse. He murdered 2 people. Incorrect. He committed homicide. He killed 2 people, or at least killed one and shot the other. But he did it in self-defense. There's a big difference. Murder is wrong. Homicide is not always wrong. And that's just the way it is. So if you don't like it, sorry. But them's the facts. Thank you very much, Karen. Karen says, well said, PD. Appreciate it. Also, you shall. Thank you. Tim Pool made this post, guys. This is the way that they are currently looking. This is Kyle Kulinski posted this. This is the perception of the left right now. The left says left-wing politicians, political violence, condemn it. Really? How many left-wing politicians have we seen videos of calling for either direct or indirectly calling for violence? Comparing Trump supporters and Trump to Nazis and Hitlers and all kinds of other terrible people from the past. Because what is that going to make people want to do? Whenever people hypothesize, what would you go do if you went back in time and you found baby Hitler? What would you do? Right? Trying to get people to admit that you would murder a baby because it's Hitler. So therefore it's okay to murder a baby. Guys, Loopers was about this, right? The movie. You cannot justify that kind of violence just because somebody might become something. The rhetoric out of the left, calling everybody Hitler, calling everybody a Nazi, is pushing people to violence because everybody thinks that the Nazis were bad, and they were. Everybody thinks that Hitler was evil, and he was. But that is encouraging people to be violent against people that they have classified as Nazis, as Hitler. To classify someone in that manner is to encourage violence against them, and that should be condemned. That is not something that you see condemned by people on the left. In fact, if anybody wants to go search X briefly, you can find plenty of examples of left-wing politicians calling people Hitler and Nazis. It's pretty predominant. But Kyle Kulinski is a good example of somebody on the left, and this is what he believes. He also believes that right-wing politicians decide, it matters who the violence is against. If it's against the left, it's okay, just ignore it. And if it's against the right, lower flags to half-staff and be sad. It's like, this is not the way that it works. This is the reality, though, that the left lives in. This is how they justify their behavior by saying, look at us, we're good. Look at them, they're terrible. Justifying violence against the terrible. Kara says the shell casings had catch fascists on them. Yeah, I believe one of them, right? Yeah, apparently each of the casings had something else scribbled on it. I have not seen pictures. That is just what is being reported. Again, something you'll notice in today's episode is that things are currently being reported, both sides, both directions. It makes it very difficult for somebody to know what the issue is. But something that you need to be able to do is to think critically for yourself. Use logic and try and figure out what makes the most sense. No, it's not. Please be patient. Don't, buddy, you have like 20 minutes. Yeah, 20. 20 minutes is kind of a long time, but not too much. Okay, bud? Anyways, this is what they believe, right? So when you see this, you shouldn't be terribly surprised when we get the outcomes we get. Assist Master does. They think words are violence. They do. They literally think saying mean things is the same thing as punching somebody. The old sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me does not apply to the left nowadays. They think that sticks and stones and words are the same thing. To them, they justify committing assault and battery against another human based on a word. We saw this with Irina Zarutska's killing, where people were trying to justify the animal's behavior by saying, oh, look, maybe she was looking at something racist on her phone. And then the killer tried to justify it by saying, she called me the N-word. I'm sorry, left. I can say as many mean things as I want to you, but that does not justify murder. It just doesn't. Sorry. Correct, Sith. They truly believe words justify violence. They absolutely do, guys. And it is actually kind of a scary thing when you think about it, because we're supposed to be able to talk. Freedom of speech, right? Now, I'm not encouraging you to go be an asshole. Don't go around and call people the hard R. It's probably not going to end well for you, because you may have the right to say whatever you want, but you are not free of the consequences of doing so. You just might get punched. Now, do I think that's good? No. You should not commit assault and battery against a person because they say mean things. Just walk away. Just like if you don't like what's on a TV show, if you don't like when someone comes to talk to your college campus, don't attend. Turn the channel. It's your choice, but you choose to consume it, and then you get mad, and then you commit a crime. That seems dumb. Don't do that. Seems very dumb. So we got here old school Eddie. I know the news cycle has changed, and it has, but we lost an American patriot. Now, she was a migrant. She did come from Ukraine. She was fleeing the war. But her family said they didn't want her remains returned to Ukraine. They said she loved America, but she was here. She was riding mass transit in Charlotte, North Carolina, and what happened? Irina Zarutska was murdered by a crazy person who had been released 14 times from custody because of an activist magistrate. This person had no business being on the street, and this person murdered Irina. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. But liberals seem like they were upset when Putin was killing the Ukrainians. Just like you see right now, the left is trying to present it that the people on the right didn't care about the Ukrainians at all. But now we do, because we can use it as political. Hang on a sec. The leftists are like, hey, you're only using this for political capital. You only care about her because she's, valuable to you now, because you didn't care about Ukrainians. It's not that we didn't care about the Ukrainian people. See, this is where people seem to have issues understanding. I didn't dislike Ukrainians and the Ukrainian people, just like I don't dislike the Chinese people. I dislike the Ukrainian government in the fact that it is taking a shit ton of our tax money and doing god awful things with it and prolonging a war that has no business continuing. Yes, I'm upset at the government of Ukraine, not the people. Just like I'm upset at the government of the Chinese Communist Party. But that does not mean I dislike the Chinese people. In fact, many of them are very pleasant. I have no issues with them. Sith Master Dad says, dad life. Yes. Yes, the kids were starting to get a little bit unruly. They just had to be gently reminded that they were being quite loud. But yeah, now that this is done, they're like, oh, but an American career criminal killing Ukrainian in a blue city. Yes. Yeah, the guy had no business being on the street, guys, and we all got to watch it. We have TV footage. We have, security camera footage of it from the light rail. That was the first murder this week that we got to witness live, right? Granted, it was a while ago, but the footage came out, and we got to see it happen. The brutality of it, the senselessness of it, her fear, her crying, and her dying. We got to see that. Not pleasant to watch, guys. And then what happened? The next day, we have a shooter in Colorado. Here's another one. We didn't really hear too much about this because the shooting of Charlie Kirk and the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Well, guess what? There was a person, this 16-year-old, that shot two people at school and then turned it on themselves and ended their own life. Now, you are seeing a lot of conflicting reports. What's up, chat band? Good to see you in the chat, buddy. Make sure we share out the live. Don't let the village burn, folks. Share the live. Let's get those viewer numbers up. Right now, it looks like rookie numbers. Let's pump those up. Let's do it. Yeah, guys, there's conflicting reports right now about the Colorado shooter, right? The people on the left are trying to tell us one thing, right? They're trying to say, oh, it seems to have lost in the noise, but the kid who shot 5 fellow classmates on the same day in Colorado was a white supremacist who was radicalized by right-wing influences. So this is the story that the left is pushing. So he was a white supremacist. He was radicalized by right-wing influencers. So that's what the left is putting out, right? This story is just that a 16-year-old boy shot 2 students and then himself. So already, this says 5, this says 2, but that's fine. The person has shown an interest in mass shooters in the days leading up. Social media accounts appear to be connected, are littered with references to anti-Semitic views and mass shootings. The sheriff's spokesperson on Thursday said that he was radicalized through an extremist network, but declined to offer any additional details. It's weird. I would assume that the mainstream media, and this is again where you got to use your logic, I would assume if the mainstream media had evidence that he belonged to a right-wing extremist network, that they would have said so. Because the mainstream media loves nothing more than to drag somebody from the right. But what else do we see from the other side? We have Scott Adams here posting. The Evergreen High School shooter was identified as Desmond Hawley. Social media has already been wiped. His father, Morgan Hawley, is a Trump hater who radicalized his son. So now we have people from the right saying that his dad hated Trump and he was radicalized by his father. We have people on the left saying that he was a radical white supremacist and radicalized by the right. It's hard to know, right? You read them, everything looks correct, but then what makes more sense to you? Most of the right-wing people that I know that grew up around guns, that know guns, that respect guns, they know how to handle them, and they know the rules of gun ownership and gun use. It's you don't point one at something that you don't intend to kill or destroy. So the question is, why would this kid be that angry? I wonder why. It's hard to say. But why is it that we see two versions of every story? So then we get to Charlie. I'm starting this section with our posts from our friend 0 Hour. Now, 0 Hour is not messing around at all. This is a good example of FAFO. If I ever saw one, I am definitely glad I have not run afoul with him. It seems like it's not good for you. But this post says, when today is over, tomorrow I come for TikTok. Guys, TikTok is a breeding ground for leftism, extremism. The CCP controls the majority of it. If you look at the content in the United States on TikTok compared to the content in Asia on TikTok, it's very different. It is my opinion that TikTok is being used to poison the minds of the youth in the West. It's destroying people's attention span, which got started with Vines, by the way. This whole short form format video is awful for us. The content is mostly women crying in their cars about the relationships they screwed up. It's about soy boys and other nonsense. It's not good. Sithmaster Dad says the loser killed Kirk was using Discord. Yeah, well, I use Discord too, so I hope that doesn't necessarily make me a terrible person. Tom McDonald has a Discord. I don't think that makes him terrible, but yes, I have seen posts that Discord, he was a part of some Discord servers. I've seen some references to speculation on groups he may have been a member of, but I have not seen proof one way or the other, which has me a little concerned because like I just showed with the last story, the right is posting one thing, the left is posting another. And guys, it's really hard. Other than using your own brain and exercising a little logic, it's very difficult to parse them and figure out which one makes more sense. Now, I side here with 0 Hour. All the videos about Charlie Kirk and the words you white women said will go viral. I will take your jobs. And they've started to. They've really started to. You can see here, one of my favorite movies, by the way, is The Accountant, guys. I'm going to rip off masks. Now, I don't necessarily think that this approach is the right one. Obviously, people are very upset. But what do? Right? We could be like them, or we can try and do the right thing. And I don't think that being like them is the answer. I'm sure people will disagree with me. I'm sure this will upset some people, but I don't necessarily condone the course of action that they're taking. But then we get things like this. So let's watch this real quick. This is Elon Omar.
What I do know for sure is that, you know, Charlie was someone who once said, guns save lives.
And they do. It's a tool, though. They are used to take lives, but they save far more lives than they take.
After a school shooting. Charlie was someone who...
In reference to if people at the school had guns, they could have stopped the bad person with a gun. Because really, the best way to stop a bad person with a gun is a good person with one. Otherwise, what do you get? You get Uvalde. When the good people that have guns run away. And then what happened to all those kids? It's not good.
Who was willing to debate and downplay the death of George Floyd in the hands of Minneapolis police.
I think he called him a scumbag.
Right, have no regard.
I actually asked Grok, and if someone wants to go find it real quick, or maybe I can dig it up later and I'll post it. I asked Grok George Floyd's criminal history, the contents of his narcotics in his system at the time of his passing. And I asked Grok even, I said, hey, given this evidence, would a normal person be out of line to call him a scumbag? And Grok basically said, no, it would be understandable. Now, do I think he was one? Sure. Do I think that is helpful to call him out for it? Not particularly. He was definitely not an upstanding citizen, right? The police that interacted with him had him in the car. He asked to get out of the car. They took him out of the car and put him on the ground at his own request. And then they used a restraint because he wouldn't sit still. Well, that restraint was what they were trained to do. And in the end, he passed. But why is Derek Chauvin in prison still when you have the killer of Irina Zarutska got let go 14 times. Like, that is the unequal application of the law that they talked about earlier that Javier Milei mentioned. It's not good. The law applies to everybody equally, or at least it's supposed to. And when that stopped happening, guys, the fabric of everything that holds this country together started to unravel. You have to know that the laws apply equally to everybody. If they don't, what's the purpose?
Downplay slavery and what Black people have gone through in this country by saying Juneteenth should never exist. And I think, you know, there are a lot of people who are out there talking about him just wanting to have a civil debate.
Complete rewriting of history.
I don't know if either of them have actually watched him debate anyone, because Charlie Kirk's debates are some of the best debate videos online. Do I agree with everything he said? No. But I think in general, I think as a net, I think he was a positive. I think wanting to talk to people that disagree with you is much better than the alternative.
Yeah, there is nothing more effed up, you know, like.
There's nothing more effed up. I can think of a few things, like marrying your brother, allegedly. Immigration fraud, you know, might be worse than talking to people.
Than to completely pretend that, you know, his words and actions have not been recorded. and
But that's the thing, they have been. Like, play the video, present the evidence. That's the nice thing about that we learned about badge cameras or the body cameras for police, right? BLM and everyone pushed for them. So we said, okay, we'll start recording all the interactions. And then what happened? Sure, they caught some bad cops, and those bad cops should be accountable. But you know what it caught an awful lot of? Citizens being dumb, and then citizens getting shot, and then the reasoning being justified because of the body cam, because they said, oh, that never happened. But then it was clear as day on video, right? Knives in hands, charging police, etc. But if you think Charlie is so hateful and his debate style is so bad, present the video. And if you can find one out of the thousands of videos that he would have online, good, fine. I can say that one is bad, but find it, present it. Until you do, you have no business talking.
In existence for the last decade or so.
Karen says all their outrage is based off quotes taken completely out of context. So I think that is intentional, because if they do so, it gives them a leg to stand on. Even though they're very out of context. Like, they tried to say he was calling someone a chink. He was not. Like, that's an awful thing to say to somebody. He was calling out chink Uyghur, I don't know. The Young Turks, chink. Very out of context, guys. He was not yelling at somebody, calling them a racial slur for Asian people. He was calling out chink Uyghur. Young Turks, chink. Sorry. I know you want to be mad at Charlie, guys, but sorry, lefties. He didn't say or do a lot of the things that they're claiming he did. And then you get some just disgusting things like this that get posted. It says, now when racists are mad and want to talk shit, just post pictures of these two dead MFs. They're really going to be pissed. Now, is it upsetting? Sure. But they just want to get under your skin, right? They just want to upset you, to get you in your emotions. Guys, these two were murdered. That's it. I don't know why these people, other than being ghouls, right? Oh, we're dehumanizing. If you want to be treated like a human, try and act like one every now and again. That would be preferable. It says, or these three. Yeah, guys. They're just trying to get you spun up. You got here, Matthew Dowd was fired from MSNBC over the assassination comment that he made. This is more of 0 Hour or people like him that are exposing some of the vitriolic, hateful messages that have been spread in the last few days against the right. You want to be a public figure, you want to come out publicly like that. It's not good, guys. The left loves to cancel people. They're just not used to the other side doing it back. Again, do I think it's fair to take someone's entire livelihood away? Probably not. But some of the things that are being said right now just to get into people's emotions and get them riled up are pretty awful. ABC here. President Trump has called for an end to political violence following the assassination of Charlie Kirk, did not recognize or acknowledge the recent threats, violent attacks, and killings of Democrats. Well, here's a community note. It says President Trump publicly responded to offering condolences after the shooting of the 2 Minnesota lawmakers, reported by the AP News. So that's weird. ABC is reporting he didn't. AP is saying he did. So as Tim Pool points out, they are lying. Like, you can only believe one of these, right? AP News or ABC. Who do you think is telling the truth? Again, it's hard to say. 125 views, repost, everyone. Yes, thank you. Oh, 127. 2 more. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for showing up. We are going through some pretty difficult content from the last couple of days. But I think these are conversations that need to be had. And you can feel free to leave a comment and we can talk about it down in the chat. If you're, you can also go to my profile and check out my website. Somebody in my DMs tried to get very upset with me and posted a picture from my website that is linked in my profile and asked, "Is this you?" It's like, yeah, bro, good job, detective. It's literally linked in my profile. Yes, that's me. I don't know. Sure. But if you want, you can visit the website that is linked in my profile and check it out. There's ways to support me in there. My YouTube, my Rumble channel, my X account. You can buy me a coffee. You can leave me a tip here on X. There's plenty of ways to support. You can just show up, chat in the chat, repost out the live. Do all those things and help out. But yeah, join Sith Master Dad, Titan Shell, Karen, Chat Band, Chad, all these folks down in the wonderful chat. Sid Master says, I knew it would all be serious. That's why I shared Sydney. Yep. Fair. Not even mad. Ben Shapiro, guys. You may not agree with everything he says, and I don't agree with everything he says. But, something is, he is always, for the most part, proper. He gets a little agitated sometimes, but he really keeps the profanity to a minimum, which I appreciate. Because there's some of us that aren't very good at it. I'm not. I was in the military. Profanity is like a second language. But I'm trying to do better. But just listen real quick.
Now, it's still up.
Also, sorry for his voice, guys. Ben's voice is
up to us. I saw a lot of rumors online today. I was made aware of this by my team that I canceled some sort of college tour. That's bullshit. I saw those rumors. They are false. I will be coming to college campuses, many of them this year.
Okay. Very good.
So will we all, I am sure, because we're Americans and we're not going to be deterred.
Which is the big thing they're trying to do, right? By killing Charlie on his tour, the big thing there is to try and scare folks, to try and make them stop. But many people are vowing to double down now. They have inspired people. You have dozens and dozens of videos now of I am Charlie Kirk. We are Charlie Kirk. They have martyred the man in a way that I don't think that they really understand at this point. You can kill the man, but you can't kill the ideology and the values. The message, the story will be forever now.
Charlie's voice is not silent. We're going to pick up that bloodstained microphone where Charlie left it. And to those who would intimidate, who would seek to stop us, who would seek to end free discussion, who believe that they have ownership over public spaces and can violently threaten and kill people who speak freely. We are not going to stop. And I have 2 words. Fuck you.
I don't know if I've ever heard Ben drop the F-bomb, but that was pretty wild when I heard this earlier today. I just felt like I needed to share it in case somehow you guys missed it. This does have 5.7 million views, so I'm assuming that most of you have seen it. Conservative Alternative, though, said the left couldn't beat him in a debate, so they killed him instead. Yeah, that's kind of what happened. Like, if you couldn't beat him, you just had to silence him. And I have a video of that earlier, in a little bit. Somebody that tried to debate him. We'll see. But Caitlin Bennett is one of many who Charlie Kirk inspired, elevated, supported. Caitlin says, I can't tell you a story of how I ended up making it where I am without Charlie. In 2015, I transferred to Kent State and found the first thing I ever felt passionate about and loved. It was Turning Point USA, which was the organization that Charlie started. The fire that Turning Point ignited inside me is something I will always remember. I became chapter president at my school, an employee with TPUSA as campus coordinator. In high school, I struggled with public speaking and would never believe that I would find something I loved so much that I put myself out there in front of the whole campus to shout my beliefs. But that's the kind of impact Charlie and TPUSA had on young people like me. Yes. Yes, you can take it off. Okay. I know, buddy. Says, well, part of my story includes a public falling out with Charlie and a tarnished reputation with TPUSA. That, too, I am thankful for because it put me on the path to where I am today. See, one nice thing about hardships in life is that sometimes you must go through them, just like Joseph and the ability to read dreams. He didn't probably want to spend a lot of time in prison before he was able to interpret Pharaoh's dreams and become the second in command of Egypt. But sometimes you got to go through hardships to get to where you need to go. Titan said, I did see it earlier, but wow, before today, never heard Ben talk like that. Yeah, neither have I. Without him, there would be no Turning Point. Without Turning Point, I wouldn't have found my passion. Without finding my passion, I wouldn't have met my husband. Without my husband, I wouldn't have my 2 beautiful children. Less than 2 months ago, I believed I was still unwelcome at Turning Point events. I'm so thankful to God that an olive branch was extended at SAS in Tampa and old wounds were healed. He welcomed me into the event and said, I want her here. Give her a badge. Thank you, Lord, for that closure. I wish I had the opportunity to thank him for the life I have and his impact on me, but I am confident he knows my heart. The conservative movement will feel a deep wound as Charlie's commentary, videos, debates, and inspiration are now gone. Well, they're not gone. We won't have any new ones, but we still have the ones that are around. It's going to sting for a while not having his takes on everything going forward. That is true. He has so much left to accomplish, especially with his children. That's the hardest part about all of this. So, Charlie, thank you. Rest easy. Yeah, and there was a lot of people positing that maybe he would be or try to at least run for president. There was a lot of other things that he could have accomplished in his life, and that is now gone. As the cartoonist SKS Cartoon points out, the murder of Charlie Kirk is a turning point in the USA. I hope the leftists understand what they have wished for. You see here, prayer didn't help Charlie Kirk, did it? He says, I was praying for you, for what is about to come. Charlie was the best of us. He wanted to talk. And they took him. So the people that are left are going to want to talk less. And that's not a good thing. And as I mentioned earlier, this guys. People, I can't believe he didn't cry during Titanic. Do men even have feelings?
That is the best.
Isn't that the best? As a father of two small children, this is probably one of my biggest fears. That I would also miss out on so many of these, as Charlie will now, that his kids are going to miss out on. I hope my kids never miss them. Karen says violence starts when talking stops. It does, which is why it's so important for us to continue the dialogue. But to make corrections to the system in the right way, to minimize the recurrence of these kinds of things. And this is what Ben was talking about. And this is probably one of the better cartoons I've seen. I don't know who the original poster was. It is watermarked by an architect Euclid. But it's, do you think someone will pick it up, Lord? To which he says, someone will, Charlie. Someone will. And I think that's one of the things that we all need to do. We all need to pick up the microphone. We all need to continue the discourse. We all need to continue to try and make things better. To continue to pray for people, even if they don't want it. Because I think in the end, we should want a better country, a net good. And supporting murder is not a net good. Gigabase Dad reminds us that we have been given our mission. This is an old post of Charlie's, but it says, get married, have children, build a legacy, pass down your values, pursue the eternal, and seek true joy. Eventually, we will replace the nihilists. The only challenge to this is you need to pay attention to the people that you allow around your kids that help raise your kids. If they're in public schools, you should be afraid. If they're in a university, you should be terrified. And we're going to cover that here in just a second. But guys, the left is not having kids. But what they are doing is targeting yours to turn them against you. Beware. Be open. Share things with your kids. Let them know you love them. And act in the right ways. That's the best we can do. And hope that what happened here with Tyler Robinson doesn't happen to your kids. I can only imagine being this guy's father right now, who turned him in. And we'll cover that in a second. But if you notice, who is that is debating Charlie? JP says, I don't think we have the real shooter. It's sketchy at the moment. This is who we are being told did it. Now, the old man that they originally thought was the shooter at the scene admitted, he confessed. And then they investigated, they interrogated him, and they let him go. Now we have this kid who confessed to his parents and his friends. But is it the right one? I don't know. It's hard to say. It's also very difficult to trust the media at all anymore because they've been lying for so long. Kara says they lied for 40 years and said the world is overpopulated. Yeah, and look what's happening now. Now everything's underpopulated. Now we must import migrants. We must do this and that to fix the population collapse. Well, I remember growing up, there was global cooling. We were going to be entering another ice age. There was overpopulation. There was the depletion of the Amazon. There is the just fear-mongering of carbon dioxide and the melting of the ice caps. There is a lot of things. It's it just always morphs from one thing into the other. Sith Master Dad says, make more babies. It's fun. I agree. It is quite fun. Now, afterwards, more work, but also more rewarding. My kids are the light of my life. Like, I don't know where I would be at this point without them. They inspire me and they motivate me to do so much more than I would do by myself. JP says, I'm just saying Google 30-06 gunshot wounds. Yeah, 30 caliber gunshot wounds are pretty rough. The only way that makes sense is if he barely grazed Charlie with it. If it was a direct shot, it doesn't line up. It definitely looks more like a 22 caliber or something smaller. It's hard to say, especially when we can't trust the government, right? Whatever happened with the Vegas shooter or shooters? Whatever happened with the two Trump assassins? Whatever happened with any of these people, right? We still don't know anything about any of these folks. And we're supposed to take their word for it. Well, if we do, Sid Master says, I still think it's a 308. Well, I mean, a 30-06 is what they say. 30-06 is still a 30 caliber. It's close. Similar, but different. But you can see in this video, guys. We'll watch it. Bullet broke apart. Shrapnel broke his ring. Oh. So what did it hit first? Usually if it's breaking apart like that, it's hitting something else first. Unless it deflected off. He was wearing body armor, so I wonder if it deflected off his... No, it's hard to say. We'll have to just keep an eye out and see if we get any more details. But just watch this video clip with me.
Come up to the mic. So now we know that you're like a blatant narcissist that needs attention at all times to cut in line. Tell us what's so pressing that you needed to interrupt us before he could even talk.
So let's talk about the 200 people deported without due process to El Salvador. I don't know if you saw this morning, but a United States citizen was actually deported.
It was not a U.S. citizen. That's not correct.
Liar.
It's not a U.S. citizen. It
What?
was actually...
Come on.
No, it was someone that was
Liar.
living here. Yeah, it was not a U.S.
Hey,
citizen.
hey, this guy just fucking lies. It's not.
No.
Hey, no. You wanna have a debate, but you don't.
It was
debate.
not a U.S. citizen, first of all.
You wanna have a debate, but you actually don't debate. There's nothing more ill-faith than this.
So
you're not.
we already have a mic.
Name 2 times. Name 2 times where you've changed your
Show me
mind.
you're losing without telling me you're losing.
Ooh, a direct attack on pride. Ugh. That's rough. The crowd is not on his side.
What? So you're just gonna lie?
Well, first of all, it's not a U.S. citizen. He was living here for a while. He was part of MS-13. Answer yes or no.
Okay.
Should members of a terrorist organization be able to stay in the United States after they've murdered and gone after
No,
American citizens?
obviously, no.
So we have deported those people back to their country.
He's a liar.
So, okay.
He can't debate. He just
Okay,
lies.
so let's just
What,
calm
you don't
down
like
a little
freedom
bit.
of speech?
Well, I mean, you could say whatever you want if you want to make a fool of yourself, but we do have like 10-year-olds here and 11-year-olds, so can we
don't
have some
care.
decency?
Whatever.
Okay, you don't care. You're a typical leftist because you only care about yourself,
Who said I was
not
a
about the
leftist?
other people.
Who said I was a leftist?
Well, it's very clear by how you're acting.
Ugh. Who said I was a leftist? Well, it's very clear by how you're acting. And yes, Charlie, very calm. Right? He doesn't yell. He might laugh a little bit. He might point out your flaws, but he was at least talking. Not pulling out a megaphone to yell into a microphone, which is crazy a little bit. But yeah. So this cat, the other guy, which other guy? Are you talking about Tyler? How calm he was? Or are you talking, Seth? Who are you talking about? You talking about Tyler? Or are you talking about Charlie? Charlie, yeah. The profile. A profiler needs to see this. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, it is a little bit on the side. But Tyler Robinson, a 22-year-old Utah resident, currently in custody. So this is the view of the right. He was reportedly turned in by his father. The killer confessed to the 27-year veteran of the Washington County Sheriff's Department. His father has contacted authorities. So this is the straight reporting by Derek. And then we get update from Libs of TikTok. Family member turned him in. He discussed plans with roommate, hid the gun in the bushes before. Bullet casings had Antifa, LGBT, and leftist messages. Again, I haven't seen that confirmed. I keep seeing it written, but I haven't seen pictures, and I don't think we ever will. And he was radicalized in recent years. So pay attention to the in recent years part, right? Use your brain and just keep an open mind. So here, Derek is reporting rumor that a high school friend, see, I haven't seen confirmation of these. So just pay attention. We haven't seen confirmation, but friend of Tyler's said he was a leftist per The Guardian. Well, again, I don't necessarily trust mainstream news, but you also have so they're saying he was a communist. Well, they're saying that because of this shirt. This shirt was apparently Democratic Socialists of America, DSA shirt. Proof, please. Y'all like, yeah. See, this is where I agree, is that I don't like it when it says per The Guardian, but there isn't a link to The Guardian story. I don't like that. I still support Derek for the most part, but I don't like it. But then you get Robbie here. He was a leftist, and everything I said about Democrats and media culpability in this video is true. They own this. They killed Charlie too. So this is where the right is coming out and making an assertive statement. Do not believe the demons. Do not let these demons lie and pretend that the monster wasn't a leftist. Confront every lie they tell. So you see here, this is a picture from what looks like the Guardian article, where it says the high school friend, he was the only leftist in a family of very hard Republicans. And JP says, good point. JP says, good on the father, though, yes, for turning him in when he confessed. Whether it's a real confession or not, at least when he confessed, the father said, even in this political climate, even with how mad people are, he did the right thing. He said, nope, we're turning you in. JP says, where is the video of the gun when he was jumping off the roof? Again, very good point. So there is a video that is circulating of what is allegedly the suspect running across a roof and jumping off the roof. But in the video, you don't see a firearm. Now, people are hypothesizing or claiming that maybe the firearm was stuck in his pants. I don't know if any of you have ever tried to do anything with a long, hard object in your pants, but it makes it very difficult to move around. If you think a person is going to jump off of a second-story roof with a 24-inch barrel rifle in their pants, probably not. So again, very difficult to understand. Unless he had thrown it off the roof elsewhere, ran to the corner to get down, and then went and I don't know. There's just, for how many video cameras we should have in a place like this, it seems like we don't have very much evidence. And why do you put a political statement on the gun and then take it with you? Also, why do you load 4 cartridges with statements on them, shoot one, leave the brass in the chamber, and then take it with you and then stash it in the woods? It's claiming that you're going to come back and take it, but it's very strange. If you were planning on leaving a message, you think you would leave it. I don't know. Karen says, always a patsy. Yeah, and that's kind of where it starts to feel like Butler, PA all over again. Right? I don't know. That's where the questioning person in me comes on this. It feels too neat, too scripted. I don't know. I don't really like it either, but we'll just have to keep an eye out and see if there's any updates. Yeah, the only member of his family that was really a leftist. The rest of his family was very hard Republicans. Noted that the bullet engraving with the arrows is a reference to Helldivers 2, which mentioned earlier. He said the arrows specifically were in reference to calling in a big bomb that exists in the game called the 500 kilogram, but I never played it. Don't know. Who was the one on the water tower? Good question, Karen. Good question. They try and claim that it was, yeah, we're not going to watch a 40-minute video, but if you have time, definitely go check it out, Robbie Starbuck. Now we get the picture of the left. What does the left think? Tyler Robinson, 22-year-old, so they make it about straight white. Yep, so they're immediately bringing race into it. Loves guns. From a conservative family, not a Democrat. Dressed up as Trump for Halloween. So they are digging up, and if I can find it here. So this picture of him from Halloween, and I've seen multiple versions of it, but it was him in 2017. What year is it right now, guys? What year is it? It's 2025. So this was 8 years ago when he was younger, a kid. If you were in university, even if you're a senior in university, minus 4 years. Cool. Minus 4 more years. You're like 8th grade or 9th grade at best. So maybe he hadn't really formed his own opinions yet. So here he is, dressed, riding on Trump's back for Halloween in 2017. So good job, leftists, taking things out of context as usual, but that's fine. We'll keep looking at it. Not a Democrat. True, he was registered as a Republican, allegedly. We have something on that here in just a second. But his family was Republican. His family did raise him around guns. Oh, he was 22. So 8 years ago, that would put him at 14? Yeah, so at 14, he dressed up as Trump in 2017. Doesn't mean a whole lot. He had plenty of time to form new opinions since then. And then look, they say, look, he's a registered Republican. He donated to Trump. Also, pedo Trump. They just have to throw that in there. Except there is a note down here that the Tyler Robinson is registered and unaffiliated and did not vote in the last 2 general elections. A CNN context. So they tried to claim that he was registered as a Republican and donated to Trump. Well, let's do this live. Let's just go. What we know. Mix of memes, allusion to video games, of the bullet casings. He was quiet. Online memes. I'm trying to see if there's a mention. I was hoping to see if there was a mention of his political affiliation, but I'm not seeing anything that I thought he was a Republican, but I guess I was wrong about that, the neighbor said. Oh. Most recently lived in an apartment complex in St. George where one 25-year-old neighbor told him that he had spoken with him a handful of times and he did not recall the government having a strong view on politics. Another neighbor who lived in the complex, who also asked not to be named, said that he was super reclusive. His family home was 10 minutes away. He seemed like a normal person. Interesting how they always seem like a normal person. But then we look at Mediaite, that far right-wing organization. He never donated. So the claim that the man accused of shooting conservative Charlie Kirk donated to Trump's campaign has been proven false. It was announced the morning that he was in custody. So you can see here, can confirm this is a completely different Tyler Robinson who donated to Trump in 2020. False. So again, either it's out of context or it's false. Karen says 14. I assume that was his age. Yes. 14 plus 6 would make 20 plus 2 would be 8 years, would be 22. So yes, 14 years old when he dressed as Trump. I too was young, dumb, and 14 once. And then Karen also says all they do is lie and deny. It's a nice rhyme. But I think both sides do it, right? You get people from the right and the left tend to take things that are convenient and use them for their own ends. But I think we see it a lot more from the left than we do the right. And we don't really see it from the right more as we see it from the uniparty. So the people that claim to be Republican or right wing, but are not. They're just part of the uniparty. But we move on to culture, guys. So we get away from Charlie and Tyler. We get away from Irina and the Colorado shooting and all the violence. And we're getting into a few other stories before we get into the memes. The good news of the day, posted by Alpha Fox. Planned Parenthood abortion business shuts down its center in Wisconsin. This is a win. This is a net positive, guys. Planned Parenthood has been involved in the extermination of a large percentage of an entire generation. It's also almost solely responsible for the fact that the African American population has not increased percentage-wise from where it is. It was started by, what do they call it? Margaret Sanger. She was a eugenicist. Thank you. Gosh, words are hard, especially after a long week. It was started by eugenicists, and they purposely put them in low-income neighborhoods. Guys, do you think this is some sort of a coincidence? Yes. Thank you, eugenics. Thank you, Karen. It's not a coincidence, right? The founder of Planned Parenthood wanted to exterminate African American people. Like, it's awful. That organization is evil. You should not be murdering the unborn anyways. The idea of safe, legal, and rare was a farce. The number of people that use abortions for contraception is just unfortunate. That we devalue the unborn to the extreme, to where you get an entire part of our culture that supports abortion up to sometimes even a little bit past the point of birth. It's abhorrent. I don't like it at all. I'm very pro-life. I think that every kid has a place in our society. And I think it's very unfortunate that our culture has fractured the home to the point where it's just not great to raise children in these broken homes anymore. We should fix that in our culture. We should stop caring about ourselves more than the other people in our lives, because that selfishness, that drive for experiences and fun and pleasure in the short term is destroying our future. So I really hope we can turn that around. We need to have more kids, guys. Casey Anthony supported 144th week of Yikes, JP. I see what you did there, though. I see what you did. How many years is that? That's let's see. 144 would be 12 years. Wouldn't it be plus 9 months though? Karen, yet I'm a racist fit for, I assume, not wanting black babies to being eliminated and wanting less crime. Yeah. I'm glad you understand that, Karen. That's just the way it is. I'm sorry, I am as well. Because I want to reduce the number of abortions and have 144, 12 times. Oh, week. God, I misread that. I read month. I was like, holy cow. Yes. Weeks. Okay. Yes. Thank you. I misread your original thing, JP. I apologize. But yeah, here we got women getting L's. A teacher was accused of raping an 11-year-old student. Guys, is it a terms of service violation for me to say anything further on this topic aside from I don't understand? I don't understand, guys. Can we please just all agree to leave the kids alone? Please. And then this story. How we have stalled out here is beyond me. I fully support their push to make this public. Thomas Massie has been spearheading a lot of this. The U.S. House is one vote away from passing a bill to force Trump to release the full Epstein files. This should happen. It needs to happen. I don't care the reasoning that people have. Make it public. Like we're at 217 out of 218 that are required. Can we please just get the 218th? If this stalls here, this will just prove that the Uniparty controls these votes to the level that they will only allow certain things to come to the floor. And the things that come to the floor, they have to have just the right number of votes. It really just feels like theater at this point. But guys, that is the end of the stories. He needs one vote. That's right, Karen, one vote. So we're going to get into the memes. We've got some. Karen, thank you, as always, for supplying plenty of memes. But first one is a couple that I found. We have 3 that I found. The rest are mostly Karen's. Gigabase Dad, wife with the W, says, Mom, why aren't you depressed like everyone else today? She says, because I'm not vegan. I quit my terrible job. I frolic in the sun, don't watch the news, and I love your father very much. To which the daughter says, fucking legend. W, Mom. W. I like that. What's up with the little girl? She's like, respect, Mom. That's it. Wife vibes, unstoppable. She is the real MVP. Yep. Guys, this is it. This is that oppression that you should be chasing. Crispy, I always include yours if you send it. Oscar had it coming. Never take my cookies. Crispy. What did Oscar do? We love you, Crispy. This one is probably one of my favorites. This one's good. Everyone always knows growing up, your parents get on your ass about turning off the lights, about not turning down the thermostat, about not leaving open the refrigerator and the freezer door, about closing the windows, closing doors, all the things, right? All the things. So, it's true, guys. Dads, after you move out and quit leaving the refrigerator door open and the bathroom light on, just stacks on racks on stacks. Just all the money left over, guys, because you stopped leaving the refrigerator door open. JP says, I DM'd you some burners. Okay. All right. Well, guys, you saw it here first. Burners. Let's pull these up. Let me see. Just give me a second. Going through my DMs. Oh, there we go. Ooh, a litmus test. Everyone, a litmus test. We are Americans. Okay. What'd you think of Charlie Kirk? Are you really on the same side as me? Seems like a decent litmus test. Oh my gosh. What? Oh, that's just so wrong, JP. It's so wrong. I'm an adult. No one can stop me. A Papa John's special garlic sauce and a Kirk. What kind of monster? Oh my God. I don't even know what would happen. That's crazy. Oh, we got a battle, guys. Now fight 30 milligram melatonin, 16 beers, fighting 800 milligrams of caffeine and 40 milligrams of nicotine. What, did someone pound a big ass monster and some Zins after taking melatonin and a almost a full 18 rack? Like, God dang. JP, what goes on in your, oh my gosh, this hurts. If your lunch doesn't look like this, you're not a real alpha. That's 2 Pop-Tarts with some raw ground beef. Oh.
Nope.
That's okay, JP. I guess I'm just not a real alpha. Oh my God, just seeing that. Ugh. Oh, that turns the stomach a little bit. And the last one from JP, remember what they took from you. Yeah, guys. We're not going to forget that anytime soon. That's for damn sure. Now we got a couple from Karen. This is a good one. This is like a heart warmer. Welcome back to my favorite game of Chihuahua or Muffin. Okay, let's take a stab at it. We're going to go in rows starting on the top left. I think that's Muffin, Chihuahua, Muffin, Chihuahua, Chihuahua, Muffin, Chihuahua, Muffin, Muffin. It's the third row now. Muffin, Chihuahua, Muffin. Oh, God, that's a muffin-ass looking Chihuahua. But we're going with Chihuahua. And then fourth row, Chihuahua, Muffins, Chihuahuas, and a muffin. I think we did it. I think we did it, guys. I still don't know that second row, third one. God, that isn't. Actually, that first one in the second row definitely looks like a muffin. Oh, thank you for that nice heart warmer. Oh, we got this one again. Back to Arena. Which one is me? Wait a minute. Everyone deserves a second chance or 14th, except the victim, according to the judge. Yeah. Ooh, got him. Wait, did you say which one's me? Okay, now I got to look at it again. What do you mean, which one's you? Maybe I haven't looked at your PFP in a while, Karen. Hang on. Let me pull up your PFP. Give me a second. Oh, shoot. I forgot. It is the dog with the hair, Karen hair. Oh, man. Okay. Oh. Are you the bottom left? No. And you just have the hair cut off? No. That's my best guess. Are you the bottom left? No. Everyone, what do you think? Bottom left? I think you're bottom left. It's just you cut the Karen hair off. That's my best guess, and I'm sticking to it. You got this one just like that. The left doesn't care about Ukrainians anymore. Yeah, it's weird. It's almost like how they stopped caring about the gays when the Muslims became more politically advantageous, or when they stopped caring about the blacks so much because the gays were more politically advantageous. It is interesting that the left just continues to choose whoever they can use to gain more political power. They prioritize that group until they're less useful than the next group, and then they discard them to the waste bin of history. It is odd how that continues to happen, and yet people still defend it. I don't understand that at all. This is a good motivational message. Push yourself because no one else is going to do it for you. The picture is a little on the odd side. If my light bulb started walking around on legs, I'd be a little bit scared. But yeah, guys, you got to self-motivate. No matter how much you hate the media, you don't hate them enough. I would agree with that. They are trying to divide us in a way that is not good for anybody. I don't like it at all. As this points out, the media is the enemy. I mean, so far, I haven't seen too much evidence to the contrary. Have you? Because the things that these people write, a lot of times aren't correct. They're definitely slanted. If you look at the coverage of Kilmar Obrego Garcia compared to Irina Zaruska, you can see that there is an excessive amount of writing when it is in one direction and almost no coverage of the story in the other direction because it's not politically expedient. It's not able to be used to gain more power. So there's no interest. So what should we do? Well, like it says there, we should just boycott. You should boycott them. You should boycott them all. And then we're going to wrap, I guess, unless someone else wants to send me another meme or two with this one. Trump was right about everything. I don't know about everything, guys. I don't know about everything. He wasn't right about Operation Warp Speed. Just saying. the guy makes mistakes. The guy is not perfect. But you know what? He tries. And the fact that he tries says a lot more than most. Because most people right now don't seem to really be trying to make things better. So, look, it's been a rough ass fucking week. Tomorrow's episode of the weekly update is going to be tough to get through. Because this week has just been awful. There's been a couple of positive things, guys, but for the most part, it has been very difficult this week. We got pushed closer to hot conflict with each other than I ever wanted to see in my lifetime. The amount of vitriol and hatred between the two sides is getting worse. They killed the one guy that wanted to talk more than anyone else. It's not good. And I really hope that things start to improve. What, buddy? I'm almost done. You hurt yourself? How? Let me see. Are you okay? You gonna be okay? All right, buddy. I'll be with you in just a minute, okay? All right. Love you. Anyways, 246, share the live. Yes, please. Let's pump those numbers up, guys. Thank you very much for the reminder, Karen. Guys, the one thing that we must remember is that when the talking stops, the violence starts. So let's continue to talk. If you disagree with me, that's fine. Post about it. Leave a comment. We'll talk about it live, on air. I don't care. We'll do it. I have no issue with that if you disagree with me. Now, something to remind you all of is, look, go to my profile. Go to the website. Right there, patriotdad.org. You can see my schedule in the pinned comment or pinned post, whatever you want to call it. You can see that we're live right now. It's crazy. We're doing this live, everyone. But yeah, guys, go to patriotdad.org. This is what somebody pulled up today. They thought they found me. Well, it's linked right in my profile, guys. So good job, detective. You can buy me a coffee. You can check out the merch store. You can go to my Discord. You could go to my company if you need help with a divorce or custody battle. You can go to that company's Discord. You can follow me on X, YouTube, Rumble. You can see here that, look, a little bit about me. Served in the Navy. I want to empower men and others to do more. Guys, go to the website. That's a way to support me. Leave a comment here. Post out the live. Just join us Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern. To make way for the conversation with Adrian Dittman at 9. You can come on Monday, 2 vets and a gardener. You can come Tuesday. Topic exchange and or Doge, depending on the week of the month. Also, Shell and Christina have their Bible space, 4 p.m. on Sundays. Guys, there are so many ways that you can support me. You can support each other. We have so many crazy things going on in the community right now. We have people helping out with state Doge. We have people helping out with national Doge. We just have a lot of really good, fun members that are interesting people. Support each other. Protect each other. Keep an eye out for each other. Check up on each other. Make sure each other is safe. Right? It's a crazy time we're in, guys. It's crazy. Just remember, you got to protect yourself and your own and your family. Because no one else is going to do it for you. But I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I will catch you guys tomorrow on the weekly update at 7 p.m. Eastern. Have a great night. Love you. Bye.